And so now it's recording. That's it. So we're recording the camera, we're recording me, and what you get when you launch this software after you're done recording is you get a screen like this. So you can kind of see my Mac desktop. Here is the video that I'm in, and you can just click play. And you can see I'm typing and I'm doing some stuff and working on, going through a web browser. This is a really, really exciting demo that you do Sunday night before PMUG when you're trying to figure out what you're going to demo. Okay, so we got a quick little video here. But some of the things you can do is you can put in transitions and all that kind of stuff. There's a whole track right here for the audio that it recorded, or the video that it recorded for me. And so what you can do is you can come over here and say that you want to do, I'm very new with the software, but you can click here and say you want to add an action. And ignore the dialog box. And it'll put a little action on the screen, this little thing you can drag around. And then you can move the cursor, and you can go to any part of this action right here. We're going to go here, and we're going to take the video, and we're going to move it up here to get it out of the way of something I was showing, and we're going to shrink it like that. And then when you come back and play this, you can watch the video move, right? So it's kind of a neat little program, and you can speed it up by changing the duration of this thing. So if you want it to go shorter, you can just kind of drag this to be shorter and move it back to where you want. Come back and play, and you see it animates faster. You can do all of your transitions and all that kind of stuff. It's only 130 bucks, and the reason I bring it up is because we talk so much about iOS and these apps are $1 and $4 or whatever, but you don't get that much benefit out of it. There's still quality software available, for the Mac, and so I wanted to bring this up. It's a higher priced piece of software. It's not subscription. You just pay the $130. They have other packages for like transitions and things you can buy as extra features. I didn't buy any of those, but this is really kind of cool. You just click record once you got everything set up, and you can go through and show how to do something. And I'm actually considering using this for like maybe some more pre-recorded type presentations. I can do those kind of at home, and if I can't make a meeting or whatever, we can have them on a server, and if you don't have a thing, you can listen to me talk without me even being here, as boring as that'll be. But it's pretty neat, and so it's a very, very complex bit of software. They have text, they have drawing. I'm not going to get into all of that, but if this is something that, I'm just showing it because if it's something that you think might be interesting, the software exists. What's really cool about this is that you can download it for free and use it as much as you want for free. When you export the video, it says demo mode, like right over the video, right? But this is a good example of a company that's charging $129, but they're doing the right thing for the customer. Because what this means is when we were using the Zoom software, we were like, how do we get this on the presentation software? We have to install these web plugins, we have to install this stuff, we have to take it off afterwards, we have to give them the account and password to our account and make sure that they get rid of it when they're done with it. It was all of this work. With ScreenFlow, the demo is free. So if we had another presenter, let's say John was going to present and he doesn't own this software, we can have a little USB stick and just give him the software and he can install it. And it's just an application. The only time you have to install like a driver is if you want to record the audio coming from the computer. But if you don't care, you don't have to install that. John, on his Mac, he's going to show iOS photography or whatever. It even has an option to record your iOS device. So you can, if you plug it into a USB, you can choose that and it'll put the iOS device on the screen as well. And as you saw, you can edit it later. So you can shrink it, size it, remove it, whatever you need. John can do that whole recording for free. Then what he does is he takes the file that gets saved and he puts it on a flash drive for either myself or Lauren, who has the club's copy of the software. Lauren can do all the editing, and when he exports it with his licensed version, it doesn't say demo mode. And so this is really cool. This is a company that's thinking about how users use their software. We want multiple people to be able to record, but we still want to make money as well, right? And so recording is free, editing is free, exporting costs, right? That's a great model. That works for us. I can give it to anyone who presents. You can keep it on your machine forever. You don't have to delete it. You can use it, play around with it for free. And then later on, if you decide, hey, I actually got a cool project, now I want to save it, then you pony up to $129, right? So I told them that, and we're in the process of, I got to go through a form to see if we can get PMUG a little bit cheaper. They have a nonprofit discount. I just don't know what you have to do to qualify. So we'll see if we can get that. So that is called ScreenFlow. And just so I don't forget, it comes from telestream.net. That's TELESTREAM.net. And the program's called ScreenFlow. And you can get the free copy there. You can see right here it says download free trial. And you can just play with it. They have a little tutorial. It's kind of a simple tutorial, but you can play with it all you want. So I like these companies that they're still supporting the Mac and doing cool things with the Mac. So we're going to get rid of that.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
So I've been trying with my genealogy to interview like my oldest cousins. And so I wouldn't want a big camera in their face, so I'd use the iPhone. And if I take a little movie on the iPhone, can I import it from there?
I think you can. There is a media import. I couldn't see some of my files, but I didn't have any time to really play with that. But it's possible. However, you can download it for free, and you can try it out, right? Great business model, very great. So I really want to support companies like that. So that's Telestream. Yeah. Oh, and for the people online, the question was, can you import video from the iPhone? Sorry, it's like I remember watching back some of our other video. There were people asking questions, and it was like, what did they say? So I have to remember to repeat. Yeah. That's exactly where it's going. Yep. Yeah, we're going to so the question was, can you put this on YouTube? We're going to export these as HD videos, and then we'll upload it to YouTube and choose whatever settings we want there. Yep. And then the way you stop it up here in the menu bar is there's a little widget running up in the menu bar, and there's a stop record that you can press. And so it's recording everything we're doing right now, the computer and the camera and everything. We'll see how it runs. So the next one I want to talk about is, how many times have you opened up a website and you've opened up another website, you're doing some research on something, you got PMUG, and you want to see both of these at once, and you can put them in tabs. But wouldn't it be cool if you could just come over here and go, I want that one on the right and I want that one on the left? Pretty neat, right? This program is called Moom, and it's from Many Tricks. I think I've showed it before, but wanted to repeat it. One of the co-founders of the company lives here in Beaverton, Rob Griffiths. So I really should get him out here. If you become president, I'll hook you up with Rob. Come out here and show you. They got lots of cool software. It's a little program you can buy directly from them. I think it's also available in the Mac App Store. I think it's like it's not very expensive. Let's see here. Let's look it up. It's called Moom. M-O-O-M. Yep. And it's $10. $10 on the App Store. And it's pretty neat. You can do all sorts of crazy stuff with it, but I just use the defaults. You can actually also come down to this little dotted area right here. You can kind of like drag and make a custom little area that you want the window to fit in, and it'll kind of chunk it to that. But I just use the defaults. You can set all sorts of crazy stuff up. You want it to be in the bottom half, you can do that. I pretty much use it to split, just left and right. Use this all the time. I do this at work programming. I close down things. I have two things side by side, and it's just easy, click, click, and off I go. So I really like Moom. And it's just a program that's just running in your menu bar, and when you quit it, the little additions to the, and then this little guy here, this is the previous. So if you pop it, it'll kind of go back to what the thing was before you started using Moom. So.
Do you turn it on and off again?
Moom?
Yeah.
Oh, what do you mean, how you turn it on and off?
How do you get back to where you were?
Oh, there's the little arrow right here. That just goes back to your non-moomed size window.
Is that M-O-O-N?
M-O-O-M.
Okay.
Mickey, Oscar, Mickey. The website, which will go full screen so we can see it, is Many Tricks. Manytricks.com. MANYTRICKS.com. And you'll see Moom is on there. They also have Witch and Name Mangler and TimeSync. They have a couple utilities. I believe they have demos, which is an application switcher. Name Mangler is literally what it does. It's if you want to rename a whole bunch of files at once, it does that. Lets you set all sorts of rules to put dates on them and all that kind of stuff. And TimeSync is a program for tracking your time. I don't use those, so but I love Moom. Moom is great. Okay. What else do we have here? Oh, this one's actually kind of cool. How many people use emoji? Nobody. Okay. How many people have grandkids? That's why you don't use emoji. If you had grandkids, you'd be, what's that?
You just turned 1.
Turn 1, well, you got to get with it. Okay. So iOS supports emoji really well. There's a little custom keyboard for it. You tap the little keyboard icon in the bottom left, and you get all the nice emoji. The Mac kind of stinks. You can bring up their emoji picker, but it's kind of terrible. There's a little program called Rocket from Matthew Palmer. You can actually download it and use it for free. If you want to be able to search, it costs, you know what, he's not even telling me how much it costs anymore. I don't know why they do this, but it wasn't that expensive. I think it was maybe at most $15 if it was cheaper. And what it lets you do is it lets you use this common format. If you want to get with all the kids, it lets you use this common colon format to type in the names of emoji, or you can search. So if you're in a text editor or a message program, I'm going to make the font really big here. Let's just do this. 72 point, there we go. You know, you want to type I heart you and you want to be all fancy about it, you can type colon HER and you'll see it starts matching hearts. And if you want like the hearts with eyes, right, you can do that kind of stuff. If you want, I'm not even sure this one is, they have the, what is the hand, I gotta remember, this is why I like this because I can never remember what they are. What is the hand with a, is it hand? What is that one called, Charles? The live long and prosper one. No, there's like a interesting, I think it's a handball, tipping hand, raising hand. You can do all this kind of stuff with this thing here. Open hands, browse all the emoji, so you can bring up a nice little browser. This is kind of nice. I can never remember these names though, so sometimes I just look for them. There's backhand, but there is a live long and prosper one. I tried that. That's not what it's called. It's a very interesting. I was listening to a podcast about how emoji come about. It is far more detailed and complicated a procedure than you can even imagine. There has to be 10,000 page dissertations on why this emoji should exist, and it has to be generic, and it has to be like all sorts of crazy rules about this kind of stuff. I don't think it's called. Certainly not. Oh, it is called Spock. Look at that. So this is actually kind of a weird name because it's actually Apple calls it hand with fingers spread apart. Some kind of crazy. I'm not joking. That's what it's called. But we can do the. It's called the Vulcan salute in here. So you know you can do the Vulcan salute, right? So, anyways, this is the kind of thing that should be built into macOS, and I don't. So this developer wrote one, and it's kind of handy. So if you ever want to get into an emoji, it's called Rocket, and the website is matthewpalmer.net, MatthewPalmer.net. Yes, Joyce.
So I used an emoji that was in OS to write to my 82-year-old aunt, and I put a little face with a halo because I thought I was being nice to her. And she calls me up and says, "Your hat, you've been hacked. It's this gobbledygook." So she has an AOL email.
Oh, right.
And so I said, it just didn't convert my angel with a halo, because she said it was gibberish and then had the word Eugene in it, and, you know, all kinds of weird stuff. So she just knew she'd been hacked, but, so no more emojis for her.
No more emojis. So Joyce's comment was the fact that if you send emoji to an older computer system, it won't understand the Unicode characters and will render it sometimes with squares or garbage words or all sorts of fun things. Emoji is very interesting. Like I said, there's a committee that determines what the emoji should be after people make presentations, and then each platform gets to make their own interpretations of those emojis. And so the really interesting one culturally is that there is a, let's see here if I can find it. Let's see here. Is it gun? Yeah, there's one called gun. So this used to be a revolver, like a black revolver. And then, as things changed, it changed to a gun with a little orange tip, to be a toy gun. Then Apple changed it to a squirt gun, okay? So you're being funny, haha, I'm gonna squirt you gun, but you send it to someone who's on Windows, and they may have like a rifle, because that's how they interpreted gun, right? So you gotta be a little careful with some of these. There aren't there many cases, but this is a use case where be careful when you're joking around with the gun, because it's never a joking matter, and someone could really take it incorrectly. But those, and so you'll see people complaining about this because there was a big brouhaha where Google got the concept of a hamburger wrong because they put the lettuce on the bottom. And nobody puts the lettuce on the bottom. There was literally the CEO had to step in on the Pixel phone and say, we will fix this. This is wrong. We will put the lettuce on top. This is millions of dollars a year CEOs having to go on Twitter saying, we'll fix the lettuce.
You know what that tells me? Presently, we have too much money and too much free time.
Yes, yes. But emoji's serious business. I mean, you know, pictures have been obviously part of our history as a people, right? And so it's kind of going back to that, where you have like, people can communicate across languages with emoji, where it's more difficult to, you know, from say Chinese to English or whatever. You can do some emojis and they can, you know, people can understand, you know, what you're talking about. I don't know, someone said today in one of my Slacks, they said, hello skillet faces, and someone put a skillet up and a face and whatever and converted it to emoji. So anyways, it's kind of fun. I use emoji every day. We use it for status in Slack. So we have little status icons. And so someone posts like a job to do, and then we have an icon, an emoji we'll add for like, I'm taking it, and then we have an emoji for thumbs up or thumbs up or thumbs down when it's been approved or rejected. And so you don't have a whole lot of text flowing along, you just have like the URL for the job and then little icons below it. We just use emoji for that. It's very efficient. You just look and see what's going on. All right, let's see here. Cool, got 15 minutes left. This will work out great. Next one I'm going to show is something called TextExpander. How many people have heard of TextExpander? All right. Okay, I'll go over this one really quickly. TextExpander is a program that, it's a subscription now. I don't know if they sell it still separately, do they? I think it's just a subscription. It's like $3.33 a month, so whatever that is, $36 or something a year. And it's pretty nice. It's a little text expanding program, and so you can do stuff like I have in my text edit. One of the things I have to do every day is keep track of, like, you know, I keep track of what I'm working on, and so I have a diary. Just leave this document open. So I start out with today's date. So I have a macro called @td, and it puts in today's date in the format I want. You know, and so, and I got another one called @tt, which puts the time in. All that kind of stuff. I have a podcast, and so I can do some of these I never remember, like even what my shortcut is. So you can open up TextExpander. They actually have a whole bunch of shortcuts for searching. So I can do like CIH, and it posts in that whole URL. You can do this stuff with the built-in the macOS. They have a text expansion feature. In fact, I use that for some things like @email and things like that. But you can do some really cool stuff with TextExpander. Like you can have it ask you for information and insert it in the middle of the URL. So there's a command I have to execute as a programmer to get some data out of a program called Git for my stuff. And I have to give it a build number, a commit number between current and then in the past. And then it goes back and generates this big graph of like all the things that have changed. And so what I have to do is I have this macro called git log, and let's see here. Oh, it's just straight up a Can you see what I'm doing here? It's called git log. And you'll see when this launches, it brings up a dialog box, and it's asking me for the build number. So I type in 1, 2, 3, 4 and hit OK, and what I get is stuff I never want to type on my own. Right? But you can see where it's stuck 1, 2, 3, 4 in the macro. So this saves me a lot of time typing this stuff time and time and time again. And it also kind of like, there's a feature called, it's called snippets, and it watches what you type, and if it sees you typing the same thing over and over and over again, it'll make a suggestion for it. It only does it within the session. They don't upload this data to the cloud or anything. So if you launch TextExpander and type Janet DeVore and quit TextExpander and relaunch it and type Janet DeVore, you can do that to the cows come home, and it won't suggest a snippet. But if you're in one session and you type Janet DeVore and you type Janet DeVore, and about 6 or 7 times it'll say, hey, wait a minute, I see you're typing Janet DeVore a lot. Do you want to turn this into a shortcut? And it'll come up with the text you typed, and it says, what do you want to do? I use the @ sign or sometimes the backtick. How many people scan documents, like your own documents? And so you're scanning all these documents. So you're scanning your bank statements or your bills or whatever you're doing, and so you enter this stuff every month, right? And so I've pared this down, but you can see I've got like a Chevy Volt statement, so I can type, let's see, I don't do it that often. So semicolon Chevy Volt lease statement. Did I get that right? Where is this one here? So it just types in Chevy Volt lease statement. What did I type? I can't even see. Should have done that one right. There we go. And then what you can do is if you want to have the date in there, you can see I've got a macro called ISO date, and you can go in and insert like what the date is and things like that right away. So you can have the year, you can have the month, you can have all that stuff. You can insert the hours, you can insert the words, add the word, January. You can insert numbers and return characters. You can insert what's on the clipboard, which is kind of cool. So if you want to take whatever's on your clipboard and surround it with something else, you can do that. We can make a really quick snippet for that. We can say, we make a macro at PMUG. I learned about, and we'll say we want to put in the clipboard, okay? And then I'm going to call this PMUG Learning is my snippet name. Don't worry about that. And then the macro is going to be at PML. I'm just going to make that up, at PML. So then, like, let's say I'm working on the newsletter with Joan or something like that, and I do this stuff all the time. So I'm lazy, so I go to PMUG and I go, what did I learn about? Like, oh yeah, back to the Mac. And so I'm going to copy, let's see here. Of course, the web browser is not going to behave. I'm going to copy back to the Mac there. And if I come over here and type at PML, at PMUG, I learned about back to the Mac, right? So nice short little thing you did. And so if you start finding yourself doing repetition type work, these programs can, and they even track how many hours they've saved you over the last year of characters that you didn't have to type. Mine always says I saved you an hour or something very small, but I know people who use these programs religiously, and it saves them a lot of time, more and more macros you make up. You can even do stuff like, again, some of these things you can do right with iOS, but if you get a program like TextExpander, you might as well stick with it. I've done this with the built-in operating system, where I've changed. I used to keep typoing the word "the" as "TEH," so I just put an expansion in for TEH to go to THE. Right? Works great. Never misspelled. And this is not a new trick. Anyone remember Spellcatcher from way back in the day? Right? Spellcatcher shipped with a whole dictionary of commonly mistyped words. And you turn that dictionary on, like TEH was in there. And we just replaced it with THE. Kind of miss those kind of programs. But that's TextExpander. And TextExpander comes from Smile Software. Or you can, for this particular program, you can go right to TextExpander That's TextExpander.com. It's about $36 a year. They have a subscription. You want to talk about subscriptions? People complain about subscriptions, they got to pay or whatever. I like them because it keeps the companies that I like in business. BMW just announced a subscription program. So for $2,000 a month, you can have whatever car you want. And you can turn it in whenever you want and get a different one wherever you want. And if you go up to $3,700 a month, you can go way up to the fancy BMWs. So it's not a lease, it's literally a rent, a subscription. And, but for some people who've got money, it's actually way more convenient than having to do all the other stuff, especially tax-wise. If you got the money to burn, you just throw it away and they deliver the car to you and they pick up the old car as often as you want. So $36 a year is pretty cheap. You don't have to pay for anything. That actually includes the insurance, the maintenance, everything. Like the whole thing is covered end to end. So you just pay your $2,000 a month and you've got whatever BMW you want for that weekend, as long as it's available. So that's kind of the world we're headed to. Virtual vehicles? Yeah, I was flying a helicopter yesterday. I didn't do so well. All right, let's see here. We've got another 8 minutes. Oh, let's see here. Okay, I'm going to show Keyboard Maestro. This was a program that I actually don't own, but I'm evaluating it right now. This is kind of like TextExpander on steroids. You can do crazy stuff with Keyboard Maestro. I'll just go ahead and get the URL out of the way right now. It's KeyboardMaestro. Maestro, thank you. KeyboardMaestro.com. And this one is kind of like TextExpander. You can set up macros and all that kind of stuff, but it is off the charts crazy. It's maybe a little advanced for this group, but I figured what the heck, we'll show it. So you can do some really, really crazy cool stuff with this thing. You can have it search the web. You got all these kinds of macros you can do. You got clipboards. You can sort them by groups. So what you do is you say like, okay, I'm going to make a new macro, and we're going to call this PMUG demo. It's a little geeky interface. This software has been around even since the Mac OS days, pre-Mac OS 10. It's been around forever. So you click new trigger, and you can kind of see, like, it even chose like a bold font. It's really kind of ugly. But we're going to choose a hotkey trigger, and I'm going to hold down the function key and choose F6. So now whenever I press F6, it's going to do some kind of action. You can do scripts, you can do everything. So for the action, we're going to just search all actions for application. And you can see there's a ton of things here you can do. Let's see, what would be a good application here? Activate a specific application. So we're going to drag that over here. And we're going to tell it to use TextEdit, because I've been using that a lot. Okay? So now I'm going to, you have to trust me, I'm going to press F6, and TextEdit came up. It's kind of boring, but it actually shows TextEdit up there. So that's kind of a simple macro. So I was playing around with that. I was like, okay, that's kind of interesting. But you can do really, really, like, let's see if I can find it here. Where is it? There was this image thing, and it's like, let me get rid of the filter. It's like find image on screen. I'm like, what does that mean? And so it's like, here's an image. So what I did is I said, what if I just took a screenshot? I'm going to do a Command Shift 4 here. And I'm going to take a screenshot of, oh, that's not what I wanted. Get rid of that. Take a screenshot of this little thing right here. Okay, and then we're going to use our handy Moom to get this out of the way. We're going to put this over there as well. Okay, there's our screenshot. So if I take this screenshot and drag it into here, it says, this thing must be, let's see, find image on screen, in all screens. Is this the one I wanted? Try to demo here. On the main screen.
We'll fix it in post.
Yeah, we'll fix it in post. So this must be unique. This is actually working a little bit different than what I did last night, but what it does is it'll actually look for that particular image on the screen somewhere and highlight it. And what you can do is you can actually do some kind of simple programming with this, what they call control flow. Not really. It doesn't have the programming language of AppleScript, but it has some commands. So you can drag in, like to your point, you can drag in an if-then, and you can say if this condition here, let's see if I can get it right. Maybe that's what I did. There's a way to get it, I should have saved it. There's a way to get it to check to see if that image is on screen or not. And so by the time I was done with my demo last night, like I said, I don't know why I didn't save it. You can actually have it like once a second, just look to see if that image is on screen. So you could build a simple thing like, let's say you're waiting for a website for something to come in stock, and it says out of stock. You can literally just take a little bit of that out of stock image and just have it look and refresh the web. You can have the macro refresh the website, and then say if that image is not there, then play a sound. And you can have it check like once every minute or something like that. And then all of a sudden your computer's running. Of course you have to have the web browsers up. It's kind of a silly example, but it's really powerful that you can do that with Keyboard Maestro. But you can set all of these rules up for like if this condition is true, like application condition, a menu condition, let's see here, a clipboard condition. Oh, found image. So maybe this is what it was. Yeah, okay, here it is. This is what I did. So found image condition. So I'm going to drag this image in. See now where it says currently true? It found the image. And if I, let's see, where was it that I passed? It'll actually show it. If I come over here, now watch where it says currently true over here. If I hide this window, currently false, right? And so I really can't explain how cool this is, currently true. This is really powerful. And if you want to have it do something, let's have it do something really interesting. It says, if all the conditions are true, do something. So we're going to do something super sophisticated here. And we're going to have it play a sound. Let's see here. Like that. Okay? So I've got this set to be F6. So when I press function F6, it found it. If I hide this window, F6 does nothing. So I just wrote a little program by just dragging and dropping some stuff around. This program goes way beyond what you can do with TextExpander. This is like TextExpander on drugs. And you can do repeat loops, you can control the interface, you can click buttons, you can find buttons on screen. So if there's things that you want to automate, like constantly drag an image from the desktop over here and then click this button and click the OK button and do all that kind of stuff. Kind of like, how many people remember Quick Keys? Just Lauren. Quick Keys was like this for the original Mac OS. And Keyboard Maestro, I think, was a competitor back then, and they're still in business. So that's kind of a really quick overview of what you can do with Keyboard Maestro. But my point with showing these programs is that there's still really cool software out for the Mac. And the Mac doesn't have to be relegated to like just a bunch of junk. You can actually still do a lot of powerful things with your Mac if you need to automate, repeat, do videos, communicate with your kids. This stuff is still out there. We just have to look for it more. And this is the kind of things that we used to distribute on like shareware disks. And so people would come get the latest shareware disk, and that's how you would learn about it. And I kind of want to get back to that. So even though I'm not going to be president, we'll start doing these kind of things where maybe we'll put together like a set of software or whatnot, or even just, and it'll probably just be links. And we can put those links on the website and people, or in Slack or whatever, and people can go find like cool software of the month kind of thing to get back to sharing and learning about Mac software. So really wanted to have a meeting that wasn't about like the latest security hack and all the other kind of depressing stuff that goes on in our world today. So these are some of the things I found over the weekend just playing around, like stuff I use and stuff I've started to use. And if you've got stuff, please send it to the group, president or no. Say like, hey, here's a program I use all the time. And if you don't want to present for us, we can probably find someone who does, or contact the company and see if they want to do a Skype presentation or stuff like that. So regardless of what happens, with the office, please share like what you use your stuff for, and we can help each other out at the group. So that's it for tonight. We're right on time. Woo.
When you talked about TextExpander, you
Yes.
said that the Mac OS has a very simple version.
Yeah, so I'll show that actually real quick while we're wrapping up. If you go into the Mac preferences, system preferences, and you go under keyboard, where is it? Oh, I get it wrong too. Where is it? Keyboard, there it is. You go under keyboard, then there's a box called text. And you can see, actually, I have a shortcut in there called LLAP that goes to the live long and prosper emoji. And what's cool about this, actually, is that this syncs through iCloud to your iOS devices as well. So you can see I have @srn for steveriggins.net. I can type Pokemon without trying to do the accents, and it comes out with the accents because it's just pain in the neck. My niece is going to have a quinceañera. I got tired of typing the damn, so fine, I just put that in there. So I don't have a lot of these here. You can see I have like TBE is another one I do for the, and then it's really difficult on iOS to get the TM emoji. It's like hung way down at the end, and the TM emoji is how you do the TM mark. And so I just found it once and had TM get changed to TM. And so, and then you can have all of these things like, do you want to show up in the touch bar typing suggestions? All the other kind of stuff you can do with text are all right here. But you can add any number of these that you want, and they'll sync to your iPad, your iPhone, and your Mac.
Thank you.
So that's the free version of it. All right, thank you very much. We'll see you next month.